In this video, I will be discussing a question that's on a lot of people's minds with regards to NovaTech. And that question is, how long will it last? This is a question that I get so many times, and I'm going to do my best to try and address it as best as I can. In fact, I'm right now conducting a poll on my channel, and I'm asking the question, what kind of content will people like to see more of? And so far, almost half the respondents have said that they want videos that address the common concerns and issues that people have with regards to NovaTech. And so that's why I'm particularly doing this video, because this is a big concern on the minds of a lot of people, even people that have been with NovaTech for a number of months or years or just about to join. People want to know, how long will it be around for? Because they're afraid, and I get it. A lot of platforms have come and gone. A lot of us have been involved with other platforms that we thought would stand the test of time, but they didn't. And although NovaTech has been great so far, it still plays on your mind. Let's be honest, it still sometimes plays on your mind that will the negative experiences I've had in the past repeat itself on this particular platform? And it's really hard to answer that question because nobody has a crystal ball. We can't see into the future. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, a year from now, a few months from now. Nobody knows. We can expect the best. And I personally expect the best from NovaTech. I expect it to continue to do what it's been doing. It's been around for 3 years. It's in its 4th year. And based on what I've seen so far, I think it will continue to be a good platform and a dependable platform. However, nobody has a crystal ball and nobody can say for certain, how long it's going to be around for. However, there are factors that we can consider that can give us a clue about its potential longevity. And that's what I want to discuss in this video. I want to take a look at some of these factors that can help us to get an idea of how long NovaTech might be around for. And some of those factors are, what is the motivation for starting NovaTech in the first place? Okay. How is the business run? What is the track record of the company so far? And what are the future plans of the ownership? When we deep dive into these questions or into these factors, it will help us to begin to form an opinion. And please understand that everything that I'm saying right now is an opinion. It's not fact. I can't give you any guarantees. But based on these factors and my opinion with regards to these factors, I will share what I feel about the longevity of NovaTech. So let's take a look. The first factor is, what's the motivation behind starting NovaTech? And the motivation is a big relevance. It's something that's really relevant to the longevity of any company. The reason you start something will determine how long you stay at it. Okay, if your motivation is just to make some quick money, then you don't really care about longevity, right? You just want to make your money, and as soon as you've made a certain amount of money, you're out. And a lot of platforms, their motivations were wrong. They were just trying to make money. And yes, they deceived a lot of us, made us feel they were legitimate, but ultimately when they made the money they needed, they bounced. Okay, and that's why a lot of them were only around for a few months. Your COTPs, your IPCs, and so on and so forth. You know them. I'm not going to go into details about these other platforms. But the motivation for starting something will determine its longevity. And when there's a true purpose behind something, right? When the why is good enough, then I believe the longevity will also be there. And for me, NovaTech's why is one of the reasons that I believe it will have longevity and that it will still be here for some time, for a few years to come at the very least. And why do I say that? Let's take a look at this clip from Cynthia and Eddy Petion talking about some of the motivations behind starting NovaTech.
We set out to do this 3 years ago. We weren't trying to necessarily save lives. I hear that all the time, but we were just trying to find a solution. There weren't any good solutions out there, and we were tired of seeing failed businesses and people who couldn't feed themselves or pay their bills, and figured, Why help everybody else build these great businesses? Because we were leaders ourselves in network marketing, doing a lot of other things. Spend our entire lives both in the corporate world and in the networking world, helping other people build businesses. And somehow they couldn't always quite get it right. So we decided, you know what, let's just put our heads together and do it the best way we know how. It's worked now for over 3 years. We're going into our 4th year of business, which we're very proud of. We have a lot of work still to do, I realize, and it's something that we're really looking forward to. So again, just a very special thank you.
Now, let's review some of the main points that she made. Okay, she mentioned that they weren't trying to save lives, but that's what ended up happening. And before I even go into depth about that, one of the other things she said is that they were tired of seeing failed businesses. Okay, and that's because they've been in businesses in the past, network marketing businesses and so on and so forth, that didn't deliver. In fact, it's one of the reasons that some people still have an issue with the Pettions, because there was a particular company they were involved in and they were highly influential in that company. It was doing well. They, brought a lot of people into that company, but it ultimately didn't stand the test of time, and people still hold that against the Pettions. That particular scenario is actually what motivated the Pettions to start NovaTech, because they were tired of trying to help other businesses build, and they were tired of putting all their energy in these other businesses that ultimately wouldn't stand the test of time and would collapse. And they had spent so many years trying to help other businesses and trying to help other people grow their businesses, just to see it not deliver and disappoint people, that they decide that they were going to put their heads together and do things the right way, do it the best way they knew how to do. And NovaTech was birthed as a result of that. NovaTech was birthed out of the pain and disappointment of those other failed businesses that they were involved in. And they decided they were going to do something about it. They were going to do it the right way. And they wanted to ultimately help people. She mentioned that they're trying to help people feed themselves and pay their bills. And although ultimately they didn't really set out to try and save people's lives and give them financial hope and help them to feed themselves and put a shelter over their head and have money in their pocket and be able to meet their financial obligations and lift people out of financial rut and financial mess and lack and poverty, even though that's not what they were consciously setting out to do, that's what eventually happened. And that's what's happening right now. And that's because of the motivation, because the motivation is to help, to do things the right way. At the core of the leadership, at the core of the heart of the leadership is a desire to do things the right way. That's what's driving them. They want to succeed. They don't want to disappoint. They don't want to see people lose money. They're not malicious. They're not trying to scam people. And for me, when that's the motivation, they're going to do everything possible to make sure this thing succeeds. And that gives us a clue to how long it will potentially last. When that's the drive and the motivation behind the business, it's got to stand the test of time, which it has done so far. So that's factor number one, the motivation. Factor number two, into helping us determine how long NovaTech will be around for, is the way the business is run. So my understanding from the research that I've done, NovaTech's model is a self-sustaining model. And what I mean by that is NovaTech is designed, the platform is designed to keep sustaining itself because everything is profit-based. Okay? Everything is profit-based. And that means that nobody makes money if we don't have a successful trading week. If we don't have a profitable trading week, nobody gets ROI, no bonuses are paid, nobody gets money. It's as simple as that. If we have a successful trading week, bonuses will be paid, ROIs will be paid, and that's the way it works. And because of the way the business was run, because of that model, it means that NovaTech isn't reliant upon new people to join the business. It's not relying on new income coming in to be able to meet the financial obligations. It's self-sustainable. It doesn't require money from new investors. It's simply profit-based. And that's why NovaTech offers no guarantees. It doesn't tell you you're going to make 5% a week or 10% a week or 20% a month. It makes no guarantee of returns, because if they guarantee a set amount of return and they have a bad week and still have to pay that return, then where's that money going to come from? But they don't guarantee any return. So if it's 1% that we make for the week, or the traders are able to return for the week, you only get 1% on your capital. And this way, it's sustainable. If we don't have a profitable week, they don't need to pay anybody anything. So they're not stressing over how are they going to meet financial obligations, how are they going to pay out investors, and so on and so forth, because it's profit-based. It's not based on guarantees. And a lot of these other platforms, they guarantee you a certain amount, but they can't sustain it because they might not be making that every week, or they might have a really bad week. Well, what do you think is going to happen when they have a bad week? They're going to have to dip their hands into the pocket of investors to try and meet those obligations. NovaTech doesn't need to worry about that because of their business model. So we can be confident knowing that they're not going to run away with the money, that money is not going to run out. And think about it. If they were robbing Peter to pay Paul, if they were taking money from new investors to pay older investors, that's not sustainable. It wouldn't last this long. It just wouldn't. That model, which is a Ponzi scheme essentially, it would have collapsed a long time ago. Ponzi schemes they don't have legs like that. Business is run in a way that's sustainable. It's run in a way that's sustainable. That's why you'll see some weeks we make good returns, 3% for a week, sometimes 4%, and there's weeks when we've seen not so great returns. And another thing that should let you know that this thing is that NovaTech is really doing what they say, is that when you see fluctuations in the market, for example, when there was a big dip in crypto, the returns for that week were also very low. I remember, I think it was back in May, when the crypto crash really began, we had a week that the return was as low as around 0.5% or 0.6%. And that reflected what was going on in the market. So because of the way the business is designed, because of the way the business is run, because everything is profit-based, and investors will only get a return in a week if the traders are profitable for that week, and the returns are determined by how much percentage return the traders are able to get for us that week, it just makes everything sustainable. Then, because the company does a 70-30% split on returns, it means that investors get 70% of the return, the business keeps 30% of the weekly returns, and it's from that 30% that the business keeps that they're able to pay their staff, pay their traders, pay out bonuses, and run the business. So again, it's designed in such a way that it's sustainable. And that lets you have a clue into how long the business can stand for, because if NovaTech have created a sustainable model, if the business is run in a way that's sustainable, then to me, it's going to be around for quite some time. Another factor to consider when trying to determine the longevity of NovaTech and how long it will be around for is their track record so far. And we can't ignore the track record so far. Say what you like about NovaTech, doubt as much as you want, and it's fine. It's to be skeptical and all of those things, but you cannot deny the track record so far. And the track record so far is that this business has been going for 3 years plus in this crypto space, in this crypto forex trading space, where platforms such as these come and go so fast. Anything lasting 3 years in this space is something that you have to take seriously. Okay? 3 years in this business, going into it, actually it's already in its 4th year, right? In June of this year, NovaTech went into its 4th year of business, which is amazing. For 4 years, they've been delivering, doing exactly what they said they would do. There's never been an unprofitable week. Never been an unprofitable week. There's been weeks where we've had high returns. There's been weeks where we've had low returns. But there's never been an unprofitable week. So NovaTech has been consistently delivering returns and profits for investors on a weekly basis since inception. So far, no one has lost money. As much as people criticize NovaTech, as much as they claim it's a scam, they claim it's a Ponzi, but I'm yet to see one person to say they've lost money on this platform. I'm yet to see it. I'm yet to see one person, one credible source that has lost money on this platform. This NovaTech, it's in its 4th year now, and it's still paying out. At this point, I've made more from NovaTech than I put in. And I've only been with NovaTech since the beginning of this year, January 2022. We're now in August 2022. And I've more than doubled my initial investment. I make withdrawals on a regular basis. I make withdrawals pretty much every week. And I get those withdrawals within the space of 24 to 48 hours when I withdraw from my bonus account. It's still paying out. I've never had a time where NovaTech did not pay me out my withdrawal, or where there's been severe delays or one excuse or the other. Never had that kind of an experience. The company has shown integrity, it's shown dependability, and I have no complaints. So the track record so far speaks for itself. NovaTech has demonstrated that they can sustain this thing. And the platform is still paying out. There's not been issues with withdrawals. There's other platforms that I'm involved in that are also still around, but there's issues with withdrawals. Your money's stuck. You can't get your money out. There's all these niggly problems that are happening with being able to get your money out or being able to make withdrawals from the platform. No such thing with NovaTech, and you cannot ignore that. And that lets you know that this is a business that's serious about doing business the right way. It's not messing around with people's money. It's trying to show people that they are here to stay, that this is a business that's here for the long haul, that's here for the long term. Like I said at the beginning, the motivation is to help people and help people change and shape their financial future. And they're trying their best to do it the right way. Are there technical issues sometimes? Yes, we know there are technical issues. Sometimes it's hard to get on the platform on a Friday because everybody's trying to, redeposit their ROI into their trading account and compound and things of that nature. Yes, there can be technical issues, but they are quick to resolve those technical issues. And that's another thing. A lot of these other platforms that we've been in, once there's technical issues start popping up, that's a red flag, because those are usually the early signs that the platform is about to go away. But with NovaTech, they're quick to resolve these issues. Every technical issue that I've encountered while I've been on the platform has been resolved within a matter of hours or max a day at most. And it just gives you reassurance. It gives you peace of mind. You don't have to have your heart in your mouth. You don't have to get a heart attack when there are technical issues, because they have proven that those things are resolved as quickly as possible so that it can be business as usual and things can return to normalcy. Okay, so the track record as well speaks for itself and shows us that this is something that's going to be around for quite some time, in my opinion. Now, another factor we can consider with regards to NovaTech and how long it will be around is the future plans of the ownership for the business. If the ownership don't have a vision for where the business is going, then we can't safely assume that they see a future for it. We can't safely assume that they want it to be around, that they want it to stand the test of time. The Bible says without a vision, the people perish. I also believe that without a vision, businesses perish. In fact, without a vision, any venture, any business, any project that you embark on will ultimately perish. So for NovaTech to really have a future, longevity, then the ownership have to have some kind of plan as to where they see the business going. And in this next clip, I'm going to show you a clip of Cynthia Petion explaining the plans for NovaTech with regards to the future of the business.
A couple of things that we're just really looking forward to is just to be able to just expand currently on what it is that we're doing. One of the things that we learned very early on in this program is we do not want to be to wear too many hats. We've tried credit cards. We in the ATM business. We're starting up mining and stuff like that. But we just want to do what we do best. Mm-hmm. So we want to continue to expand on what it is that we currently do, be able to scale with the amount of people that are joining here, but most of all, just kind of stay ahead of the game. I have to assume a great deal of the people here are probably, in the US or whatever. And as you guys know, things change on a daily basis. Regulations change, rules, laws change. And we've been hearing it from day one. And one of the things that we've always been very careful and mindful to do is to make sure that we're staying ahead of the curve and ahead of the game. So, if regulations change, that we're ready to act on it. If, it's one of the reasons why we got into a mining program that we're trying to launch as well. Unfortunately, COVID hit, then wars in Russia hit, and then shipping is expensive, and energy is up, and gas is up, and everything else. Things get delayed, which is totally fine and totally expected, but we just have to keep pushing through and pushing forward with our plans, and we have to be able to conform and evolve as needed so that we can continue what it is that we do. So the plan is never to backtrack or to stop the program or find ways to limit it. The goal is always to continue to build and grow and evolve as needed, so that we fit into whatever that puzzle is. Okay, when we launched this program, it was trading, and it's been extremely wonderful and profitable for us. But there's so many other avenues, that we also want to be a part of and play a role in, so that we can continue to build as a community and not ever have to worry about who can participate, who can't because of where they are in the world. This is the single sole business I've ever been in. Both with crypto and network marketing combined, where you can literally reach every corner of the world. We're not just talking to people who have money or people who have education or people who can find an opportunity. We're talking to everybody. There's people, building churches and schools and homes and driving cars and feeding their families and stuff that they would have never been able to do before this program came along. And we take a great deal of pride and ownership in that as well. And we need to make sure that whatever we do, we just continue to do it. And failure is not an option for us. So, like I said, we just got to figure out where we fit in at all times so that we don't have to give up on anybody.
Now, let's review some of the main points that she made in that clip. And before I even go into the points, you can see that even from the way she's speaking and the things that she said, is you can tell that the ownership have a vision for this business. They're working with the future in mind. There's no escape plan. They're not trying to escape. And if they wanted to escape, if they wanted to run away, they would have done it already, because we at this point have over 200,000 members in NovaTech, right? The liquidity pool, from what I heard, is between $500 to $600 million. The liquidity pool. That's the amount investors have brought into NovaTech. If they wanted to disappear with the money, what are they waiting for? When they've already have access to $500 to $600 million of people's money. And where exactly would they run to? Ricardo Roy, the chief technology officer, used to work for the Pentagon. Do you know the rigorous background checks that's done on people for them to be able to work for the government, to work for places such as the Pentagon? And where exactly would they run, Where would they run to? I mean, so it's clear that they're here to stay. It's clear that they're here to do business the right way. It's clear that they're here with the future in mind. And one of the things that she said is that they're looking to expand what they're currently doing. Okay, they're looking to scale the amount of people joining, and that indicates to me that they're working towards further growth. And we can see that already because at the time I joined NovaTech, it was still under 200,000 people. And at this point, we are way over that. So NovaTech is growing by the day. It's growing day by day. And the reason it keeps growing is because people are coming in, seeing that it's delivering, and then word of mouth is spreading the business. A lot of people who came in skeptical, who tasted and saw that, oh my goodness, the Bible says, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Oh, taste and see that NovaTech is good. A lot of people are coming in originally skeptical, such as like myself, but I tasted and I saw and I was like, oh my God, I can't keep this to myself. And that's what's driving NovaTech. That's what's driving the growth, because people are seeing that this thing is for real. So they're looking to expand. They're looking to grow. They have a vision. They have a plan to scale the business, to take it even further. They're not resting on their laurels and saying, oh, we have X amount of people, let's just chill. No, they're still striving for more. And that's what you want to see. Because when you stop growing, you start dying. When you stop growing, you become stagnant. So be worried if a business doesn't want to grow, because that means they'll become stagnant and eventually die. They're also not trying to wear too many hats. They're not trying to do everything. They're trying to stay in their lane. They're going to focus on what they do best. And what NovaTech does best is making returns for investors through crypto and forex trading. They've consistently proven that they do that very well because they've never had a losing week. So they're not trying to overdo. They're staying within their lane. They're focusing on what they know how to do, and they're focusing on doing it the best way possible to try and ensure to a certain degree the safety of the funds of their investors. They trade in a very, very conservative way. They never trade more than 20 to 30% of the pool, again, because they're trying to minimize risk and not lose money. And they seem to have a very, very good strategy for staying profitable on a weekly basis, which has been working for them. So they're focusing on doing what they do best. She also mentioned that they are working and they work to stay ahead of the game with regards to regulations, rules, and laws when it comes to the forex and crypto space that they are doing business in. So they are trying to stay ahead of the curve. They're trying to stay ahead of the game with regards to regulation. And that shows you that they want to remain compliant with laws. They're not trying to break laws. They're not trying to do anything illegal. They're trying to do things by the book. So they stay abreast of regulations and rules and laws to make sure that they are operating within the legal remit of the business. And that's very important to note. She also mentioned about the mining project, the crypto mining project, and that although there's been delays to that, it's still in the works despite the setbacks. And some of the reasons there's been setbacks is because of the war in Ukraine, COVID, the rising energy and gas costs, and so on and so forth. And if you've never heard about the mining project, NovaTech is also trying to get into crypto mining to give another option to investors. Because right now, they make money from, the crypto trading, the forex trading, the crypto ATMs, and so on and so forth. But they also want to add to that mining, okay, as another revenue stream into the business. But there's been a bit of setbacks with that due to some of the things that I mentioned, but they're still working on it, okay. So there's still plans. There's still a vision and a goal of expanding into the mining project and making that profitable to bring in additional revenue into the business. And this is what you want to see. Yes, they're doing the crypto and the forex trading great. It's been great, but they still have the vision and the desire to do more and to add other things into the business that will continue to drive revenue and return for investors. And this is what you want to see from a business. And when you're trying to determine the longevity of the business, because money is the lifeblood of any business. So You need to continue as a business to seek for ways to drive revenue into your business. And for me, this is a positive that they are still working on the mining project and other projects that will drive even more money into the business and potentially earn investors more returns. So for me, that's a great thing. And she mentioned that the plan is not to backtrack or limit the program, but to grow, to build and evolve as needed. So some people worry that, oh, will NovaTech ever get to a point where there's too many people and they don't let people in anymore? And the answer to that, I guess, based on what Cynthia Petion said in that clip, the answer to that is no. They're not looking to backtrack. They're not looking to limit the program. They're looking to grow the program, build it even more, evolve it even more as needed. They're striving to give everybody a chance to be involved regardless of geographical location and financial status. I know at this present time, there's certain states in America that are restricted because of the laws in those states. There's certain countries that are restricted from joining because of the laws in those countries. But to the best of their ability, they're striving to give everybody a chance to be involved in this project, in this platform. Regardless of their financial status, a lot of hedge funds, which is what NovaTech is. A lot of hedge funds, the average person has no chance of getting in. No chance, zero chance, because you have to be earning a stupid amount of money. You have to be a high earner to even consider being able to be a part of a hedge fund. And some of them, you can't even get started unless you're dropping 6 figures or $1 million. So what we have in NovaTech is not something that's common when it comes to hedge funds, because most of us wouldn't get into a traditional hedge fund. But NovaTech wants to give everybody a chance and wants to level the playing field. So it's striving to give everybody a chance at financial freedom, give everybody a chance at being able to change their financial destiny and their financial future, to be able to feed their families, to be able to achieve their financial goals and create the kind of life that they want for themselves. It's looking to do that for everybody, regardless of where they live in the world and regardless of whether they're a millionaire, whether they're middle class, upper class, working class, regardless of that. It's giving everybody a chance and a platform to change their financial future. And they want to continue to provide the opportunity for people to grow financially through this project. That's one of the things that she said. And one thing that really stuck out for me is that she said that failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. And I remember there was a time, there was a video I watched when somebody, it was a live presentation with Cynthia Petion again, and somebody asked, this same question, how long is NovaTech going to be around for? And Cynthia replied and said, well, if I give you a date that we're going to expire, that means we've planned to fail. And I don't plan to fail. Right? And that's very profound for me, because NovaTech isn't planning on expiring. The owners of NovaTech are not planning for a day where they will not be here. Their plan is to continue to be here, to continue to grow, to continue to scale, to continue to improve and evolve what they're currently doing. So for them, failure is not an option. They are striving to succeed. They are striving for sustainability, for longevity. And if that's what's in the mind of the owners, well, back to the question, how long will it be here? It's got to be here for a good number of years, right? At the very least. It's got to stand the test of time when you think about these factors, in my opinion. Now, these video clips that I've shared with you are from a video on Anthony DeLoach's channel. The video is called NovaTech Presentation with CEO Cynthia Petion, August 9th, 2022. I will also put the link to that video, to the full video, in the video description. And again, remember, this is not financial advice. This information that I'm presenting on my channel is for education and information purpose only. And particularly this video, a lot of it is my own opinion based on some of the information that I've come across with regards to NovaTech. But please do your own due diligence, and also recognize that every investment carries a level of risk, so only invest what you're willing to lose. Past performance isn't indicative of future results.